Bonjour.
Bonjour.
Yeah. Boris?
Yeah, Boris.
Okay.
Hi. Hello, Lucas. After playing on some great movies as Walk with the Line, Battle Los Angeles, X-Men First Class, X-Men Days of Future Past, X-Men Apocalypse, and series as MacGyver, Son of the South is your new movie. How have you approached your character to build it?
Can you repeat the last part of the question?
Yeah. How have you approached your character? Have you built this one?
Yeah. Well, this one was different because there was source material to reference. There was a real man to play and a real book to read, and that helped. I mean, it was just because I could actually watch videos of him, even in older. Watching him tell stories was really the only research that I was able to do.
Hello, Sharonne. After some movies as Summer of '67 and Still Believe, this is your new movie. How have you approached the Rosa Parks character?
Yeah, so almost like what Lucas was saying, there is a real person that you're portraying. So in my case, Mrs. Rosa Parks she already passed away. So I had to go back and pull like old footage. And what I did, it's weird, right? Because everybody learns about Rosa Parks at school, so you know certain things, right? But once I started to dig, I was like, whoa, there's so much that we just don't know. Yeah. For example, a lot of people said that she didn't give up her seat that day on the bus because she was tired. Well, that's not true. When you read her autobiography, she says, I was not physically tired. I was simply tired of giving in. So, yeah. So anyway, I went back and watched interviews, read more things, visited a museum. So, yeah, you definitely have to approach real historical characters in a different way. You can't just make up anything you want to make up, right?
Yes.
Certainly not here, too, yeah.
In a few words, can you talk a little about the story of this film?
I'll go?
Yeah, thank you.
So in a few words, this is centered in not unlike Forrest Gump, going through time and these critical moments and meeting these people throughout history and telling a story. The difference is this isn't as, well, it's not fictional. The story has been compressed a little bit, so there's certain things that have been moved, not made up, but moved to fit the narrative. But it's a story of a guy who is growing up in a family of Klan members, Ku Klux Klan members, and decides to go the other way. And only by witnessing the strength and the courage of other people going through these events does he slowly start to see why these things are happening and what side that he wants to choose. Speaking of choosing sides, that's where you have a very important line in the movie.
Yes, and so in the movie, and what Rosa Parks said to Bob Zellner in real life was, there's going to come a day when something really bad happens right in front of you, and you're going to have to decide which side you're on. Not choosing is a choice. And yeah, and that's what I would say the movie is about. I mean, really, the whole movie, right? The whole movie is like your transition into standing up to fight.
Yes, exactly.
That's what it focuses on.
What should be for you a good acting direction? What can you tell us about your work with the director by Alexander Brown, please?
Well, I'll start by saying that it's just it's really nice to work with somebody who is competent is a word that just sounds like I'm talking about a workhorse. So it's like not the word, but it is. He's so good at what he does. He makes intuitive choices that I'm like, okay, I guess that's going to work. And it always really ended up working very well. But he also has known this. He's known Bob for 35 years, I think, and he's been trying to get this movie made for about 12 years. So it makes sense why he was able to make choices the way he was. And he was really nice and really kind and really helpful. And it's nice to see that.
Yeah. And Lucas spent way more time with Mr. Brown than I did. I had about maybe like 3 days on set. 3 or 4.
3 powerful
I don't know.
days.
Yeah. It was awesome. But all that to say, he was very freeing. So he didn't put us in a box. So he wasn't like, I want you to do it this way and make sure you stay within these parameters. He was pretty much like, just bring what you have. And then if we need to tweak some things, we'll tweak it. But he was so like, it just made me feel so relaxed. because you're already like, you know, you might be a little uptight or a little bit nervous, you know, coming in to do your job. You're like, oh, am I gonna mess this up? But when you get on set with Barry, he's just like, you know. So it's just like this. I'm just like, I'm chilling, just like this.
It's true.
Have you met Bob Zellner, and can you talk a little about that?
Did you get to meet Bob?
Yeah, I should go first because you have more time with Bob. So
No,
you can talk
yeah,
longer.
but I want to hear your story too.
No, he was on set for one of the days that I was there, which was amazing. Because
Nice.
like I said, I wasn't there that many days, but he was there. And I remember like when I first saw him sitting down, I was like, whoa, should I go talk to him?
Nice.
What day was that? Was that the Brigade Baptist Day?
Yeah, whoa, the day in the train station? Is that
Oh,
the
it was the
same?
train station. Well,
Yeah.
it may have been, but yeah, it was the train station. That's right.
Yep. And what I came to find out was he's a very cool, just relaxed kind of guy, you know. And it's so funny because those cool, relaxed people, it's kind of like Rosa Parks. They make such powerful, bold statements. And so, yeah, that's what I got out of meeting him.
That's the same for me, because I was really nervous to play someone who was still alive and I was being told was going to be there, and I was like, oh, not that I wanted to do the research, but it was like while I'm working, I'm like,
Yeah,
I'm
it's
just
gonna be
thinking so
watching
much.
you.
Yeah, but it wasn't that way at all. He's super sweet and kind and nice and humble, and of course, you know, these are the types of people, like you said, who do these big things.
Yeah.
What can you tell us about your filming locations?
About
Filming the place.
filming location?
Yes,
Oh,
yes.
got it,
Sorry.
Yeah, we shot at some of the exact same places that these
Okay.
things happened. So obviously it was like really moving. It just takes you to a whole nother world. You know, as actors, so often we have to envision our surroundings. We might be in a studio, and then if you look up, there, you know, there's just black, you know, whatever green screen back there.
Yeah.
But in this case, it was like right there. So your mind did not have to try to make it real. It was real. And so that, I think a lot of us have said it amped up our performances.
Oh yeah, I mean the Brigade Baptist Church was real. The train station, I'm guessing that was something that would have happened there too. There was several locations I always forget, but the one that was real was the Montgomery bus boycott riot, which is now a museum, and so it looks exactly the same as it did 60 years ago, or I think at least. And so a lot of those things happened. That's where that happened.
Yeah.
That took place exactly where it happened.
What was the most difficult scene for you to shoot, and why?
Probably that dinner scene, because of all the lines we had.
Yes! Yes!
Well
you're
said.
It was crazy
It was
because
a long one.
we didn't have time, and so Barry was like, "All right, we're going to shoot this, so we're going to steady cam this way, we're going to mop this way," but everyone had to have their lines perfectly timed, which is what we do. But sometimes it takes a minute to get there. Sorry to take your story.
No.
Nice.
That would be it. Well, I didn't have many scenes anyway. But yes, I do remember that one because it's longer, but we just would shot like the whole thing through. Yeah.
And it involved a lot of people, but yeah.
Can you talk a little about your collaboration with Lucy Hale and Brian Dennehy?
Well, there's I could state the obvious about Brian Dennehy.
Yes.
It was I think it was his last, if not one of his last films, and it was an honor. I mean, just the amount of people here that have said, you know, how starstruck they were watching the movie, and I was like, oh wow, and it was crazy. I mean, going back to answer your earlier question, the toughest scenes for me to shoot were doing all the scenes with him. I mean, it sounds bad, but what I mean by that is all the stuff that he had to say.
Yeah.
And you know, I know we're acting, but we were on the campus of Tuskegee University, which is a historically black university. So it's like not it's not fun to be doing the kinds of things that he was saying and doing. Those are probably the toughest scenes. And then but then Lucy, I've known just like socially for a long time. So it was cool to get to do those. You know, we had to be pretty familiar, so we had to. And, it was fun. It was nice to finally get to work with her.
Can you talk a little about the importance of this film in the particular context in America?
As a political context?
Yes, I think it's very important to watch this movie actually, when you see America actually.
Yeah, well, some people would disagree with me on this, so just...
Here we go.
Yes.
So, since the civil rights movement, I believe that we have made some improvement. Some people will say, no, we've made no improvement. I would say that we have, because I don't have to drink from a separate water fountain. I don't have to sit at the back of the bus. I don't have to enter into the building a separate way. So we have made some strides. However, the question is it enough? Obviously not, because we still have injustices going on.
Yes.
Everybody knows George Floyd.
Yeah.
Several others that have happened and are still continuing to happen that
Yes.
we need to continue to speak up for. I mean, we're
Yes.
just being killed because of the color of your skin, and so it's like a different packaging. So it's like, okay, back in the 60s and before, and even slavery days, you were treated, certain ways, because of the color of your skin, but then the package just kind of changed, over years. And so now we're at this point, 2021, it's still there, but the packaging is, they just try to do it more undercover.
Yeah.
So it's horrible, but like I said, we have made progress, but we need to make more, and change can and will continue to happen.
And it's also important, and I think it's so great that you said that, because to say that nothing has been done is to minimize the sacrifice of so many people,
Right.
even that this movie is about.
Right.
But you're also very right in saying that there's a lot that needs to happen. If you think about what are we talking about in this movie, which is, one person, Herbert Lee, who gets shot for trying to register to vote.
Yeah.
I mean, we're talking about voter registration right now in America, and or suppressing of voter rights, and police brutality,
Yeah.
and it's happening right now. And we shot that before George Floyd was murdered, and then of course it came around. Sometimes I say it's a surprise, but it really shouldn't be a surprise. It's just
Right.
the news media, or it's just not covered all the time, regularly.
Yeah.
Son of the South was very well received yesterday at the American Film Festival in Deauville. Did you expect such a great reception in France?
I didn't. Said, did you expect such a good?
Oh, expected.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, I was really surprised. First of all, at the turnout.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, people are like really here and really supporting the film.
Yeah, yes,
so
yes, yes.
thank you, Deauville, for that. That was amazing in itself. Just to pack out that theater like that, and I know it seats like 1,400 people, and it
Yeah.
was pretty packed out. So that was amazing. And then just in general, like French, the French, you guys have been so welcoming. I know you guys have done Europe, Germany as well, and
Yeah,
I hear good things. But this is amazing. It's amazing. And it speaks volumes to the film because it's a universal story. So the fact that it gets touching people overseas, it's absolutely lovely.
yeah.
Mind-blowing to me, but
Yeah,
might not be mind-blowing to other people. I don't know.
It was, I think, for me, same, because when we were doing the movie, there was points where I didn't think we were going to finish, and to know what people have done in the past and to see their story be told in this, and the Freedom Riders' 60th anniversary was just a couple of months ago. So to see this, 60 years in the making, just pieces of this story that Bob is involved in, and then also to know that Bob has been working on this book for however many years. Barry's been trying to get this movie made for 10, known Bob for 30 years, and I thought it wasn't even going to get made in my small role, and then it is here, and now you see an almost packed house in another country.
Yeah.
Have you some French word to say to public here? Can you speak in French, maybe? Yeah.
I don't.
Parlez-vous English?
Bien.
Very brave. Very brave.
No, I don't know very much. Bonjour.
Nice.
Hello.
And you, Lucas?
Merci beaucoup.
Perfect. Nice. And my last question, which are your current projects, please?
I have a film called Pulled from Darkness that will release very soon, and it's about human trafficking, and based on a true story. It's based on a true story. I play the lead character, the one that was human trafficked. I play her nurse and basically help her to come out of the situation and there's a lot of faith involved in that, where she leans on God to come out of it. It's going to be super, super powerful. Directed by Emmy Award director. His name is George Johnson. So that'll release soon.
Nice. And you, Lucas?
I am fun employed right now.
Oh no!
Fun employed. I like
Full, okay.
Yeah, it's meaning by choice. Well, not really, but yeah, I have a project, but we shot a pilot, and and it could be great, but it's an actor superstition. I don't want to talk about it before.
Okay. It's
But
okay.
if it gets full picked up, it's different. But
Thank you very much. Can I take a picture?
yeah.
Yes. Go to the end. Right? Is that you're welcome, I think?
Oh, yeah.
You didn't respond.